Hi, folks. Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. Please listen to this presentation as you would a radio broadcast. In this essay, I'd like to talk about this strange phenomenon in the United States that the mass migrant, mass illegal migrant, total hellscapes, crime and robbery and assault and rape, human feces, on the sidewalk everywhere you look. You can't use public transport. You're going to be accosted or beaten up or something like that. Well, then a total hellscape. Or the hotels, what used to have 5-star upmarket guests staying at, and now have got illiterate third world peasants that have never even seen a flushing toilet or electric light before, and they're all over the place and hanging out in the streets, causing all sorts of problems. Yet the real estate prices are high. So how can we have a total hellscape, but right in the middle of this total hellscape, we've got real estate prices that are going through the roof? I mean, some of these house prices are, they're going to the moon, for goodness sake. So how can the two coexist? I mean, if I'm living in an area that's high crime, and I'm stepping over human turds in the street, that's kind of not a place I'd want to live in. And yet, that's how it's going in the United States. So out of the top 10, places like San Francisco and Manhattan and so on, they're places that are overrun with illegals by the gazillion, and again, terrible places to live. So how can the house price? Why are people with money, be they Chinese or not, how is it that people with money want to live in those hellscapes? Do they think this is a passing fad and it'll all calm down and it'll be a nice place to live again? Is the whole thing about the hellscape being talked up? Now, in San Francisco, for example, there's supposed to be human feces all over the street. Is this true? Maybe there's no human. Maybe it's all an invention. There's no human. It's just a trick by the Illuminati to depress real estate prices so that the smart money can move in and buy everything up. But what is going on? If I was living in an area where that sort of thing, the human feces, the crime and all that sort of stuff, it wasn't safe to poke my nose outside the front door, and I couldn't use the facilities. I couldn't go to the shop without getting robbed or beaten up or something like that. I'd want to move to another area, particularly with the general breakdown in law and order, where the defunding the police and all the police are fascists, killing anybody who's black or brown, all this crazy sort of paranoid nonsense. But what is actually going on? Why is money pouring? I mean, a torrent of big buck cash is pouring into these places that are at the same time supposed to be so terrible. So something's not right with this picture. Either the place is nowhere near as terrible as they're making out. That's a possibility. Or the place is terrible, but the big money doesn't care, or what's going on. And I haven't seen an adequate explanation from anywhere. You look at some of the places, like a couple of blocks from, not even a couple of blocks, like one block from a multi-gazillion-dollar house in San Francisco, where rich gazillionaire Democrats live, and the place again is a hellscape. People have walked down doing YouTube videos have walked down the street, and every few paces there's human turds, drug addicts, beggars chasing you, people screaming obscenities at you. You wouldn't want to use the public transport around there. You can't go into just like a corner store or a grocery store or something like that without gangs coming in and just stealing everything they can lay their hands on and running out, and people getting assaulted, raped, murdered, gun battles in the street, all that sort of stuff. And yet you choose to live there and pay big bucks. I'd want somewhere a little bit less dangerous and quieter. I want to be able to go out the front door without people trying to kill me, or without stepping in feces there. So I can't work it out. Maybe someone in the comments can sort of clue me in on this and maybe help out the rest of us as well. But these so-called hellscapes have the highest real estate prices in the United States. Nor are these places necessarily all fancy. And I'm not talking about Mulholland Drive in Beverly Hills or something like that, or gated communities with security guards everywhere you look. I'm not talking about that. These are places that are on the street, and they're worth gazillions. And can't work out why. And there's a few places in, say, the top 25, which are like very small cities or larger towns, I guess. And retirees have moved there, and it's a 99% white neighborhood and so on. But in these places, the owners of the expensive real estate, other than the Chinese buyers coming in and the Chinese must own half of Manhattan by now. But other than that, it's mostly white people who seem to not care about all this lawlessness and again the crime and just the filth on the streets. I mean, so have a think about this, listeners, and come up with some ideas, because I can't fathom it. I'd move out of a neighbourhood like that straight away. Now, why are these people prepared to accept mass migrants hanging out? Temporary though it may be. I mean, these mass migrants can't afford to live there, but the state, the government, local government, state government, whatever, is putting them up in that 5-star hotel just around the corner. Even the hotels in San Francisco. Now, if San Francisco or these other places, are hellscapes, why are the hotel rates so high? I mean, again, you're looking not just the most expensive real estate in the United States, but the rates that you pay for a decent hotel, they're also astronomical. Why would people want to visit a hellscape like that? And if the hotels are charging those sort of bucks for a hotel room, and where they're claiming that they've got 80-85% occupancy at those sort of rates, assuming that claim is true, then why are people going to those hellscapes? If it was a hellscape, people wouldn't want to live there. They wouldn't want to visit there. So exactly what's happening here? Let's think about this and see if we can work it out. You've been with Tacitus today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.